entity, but he can silence the scientist, of course, to prevent the mirror entity. But since there's another scientist in Cypher's hand, he's gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, I
And
feel like a really good play though is a Hellfire, right? You just hold on to Hellfire until you can wipe the board, and maybe then play R&B Cal on something that comes out.
yeah, but it's still very annoying to Hellfire against Mech Mage because most of the time you won't clear everything because of the
The
four HP
Shredders?
minions, and yeah, the shredders that replace themselves, and then you have the blast mage that doesn't die,
Yeah.
or the yeti, and also you deal 3 damage to your face. And against mech mage, where you're already afraid of burn, hellfiring twice is giving a free fireball to mage.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Thijs right now. He's actually thinking whether... I mean, he has to tap just because of the card advantage if he doesn't play the R&B Cal. Alright, and he opts for the R&B Cal. Definitely doesn't want to give his opponent a secret off of the Mad Scientist. And Cipher actually top decks a Mirror Entity. Does he play 2 or just the 1, do you think? Because I know you have some experience with the Mech Mage. It's one of the decks that you play probably... You've played quite a bit since GVG came out.
Yeah, I personally don't think running 2 scientists is worth it if you have only 1 secret. And just because if you draw it, then your scientists are pretty bad. I would expect Cipher to run two mirror entities, and I even like to run a counterspell on top of that. But
Yeah, that could make a lot of sense, but Thijs is of the advice that, generally speaking, Counterspell, I mean, you could play it, but he thinks that you probably mostly want to be using Mirror Entity since you get such a huge tempo swing. Essentially, you get, a minion with charge off of it, right?
Yep.
Since you can attack with it with initiative as a mage once you get it, where your opponent can't necessarily do the same, so that's really, really strong secret.
yeah, that's totally right. And now I guess Dai is gonna Hellfire because
Yeah.
he can't really do anything. But the big problem is that by Hellfiring, he can't play a minion anytime soon. He has
Yeah.
to draw another crappy minion like the owl. Like he doesn't want to Argus into nothing.
But I
It's
mean,
terrible.
he
So,
might just end up having to, depending on what he has, because you really can't risk dropping down a mountain giant on this kind of board if you don't have. I mean, you can't possibly have an immediate answer to it, right? Like it's
yeah,
impossible.
exactly.
And look at the hand of Cipher here. The Frostbolt going to allow him to stop any kind of big minion that gets dropped in order to snowball the current advantage. And I think Thijs might be forced to drop a Naked Defender. Or Hellfire again and hope it's not Counterspell. This just shows the strength of Mirror Entity, really.
Yeah, and even if it's Counterspell and it's not even Mirror Entity, now Thais would skip his entire turn right now, and it.
I think he has to. It's too dangerous.
Yep.
I mean, you have to test for Mirror Entity, which also means that if it is Mirror Entity, then your Hellfire is even more effective. But in the case, because you expect to be attacked, right? Which means
Yeah,
Molten
totally.
Giant is likely to come out.
Yeah, but then you just lost your only taunter, which really stinks.
Yeah. But he's gonna find some more, right? Let's have faith.
Yeah.
You better believe. Oh, goodness. I mean, this is a pretty straightforward turn for Cipher, I think. Like, that
And
Blast
it's-
Mage... And he
Huh.
decides not to.
Mirror Entity
He is
to
playing
prevent it.
hard around that giant.
And I mean, I think I can agree because if you have 6 damage on the board every single turn, so you don't really need to add some more because if your opponent clears, then he clears whatever you have. But if by playing that mirror entity, you know your opponent played a taunter which he really didn't want to play last turn. So if you can force another hard choice like this out of your handlock opponent, then
Yeah. I think in general it's a pretty good line of play. It's a little less all-in than playing the Blast Mage and risking a board wipe. So
Yeah.
I think you're right on that one. And the Hellfire here, I think you still have to drop the Sunfear Protector first to get everything out of the way with Mirror Entity. If it's Counterspell, then I guess tough luck for Thijs. I mean, that would be really problematic if it were. Can you imagine if he thinks it's Counterspell and doesn't play into it and just doesn't even bother Hellfiring? Now he has to Sunfear Protector.
yeah.
This is so bad. I mean, it must feel bad. It's a good play, but it must feel terrible.
Yeah. But he did it right, so. If it would have been Counterspell, though, he would have been in a really bad spot.
Oh,
But he's
the
still
mech
in a
top
terrible
deck. The
Oh
mech
wow.
for the Blast Mage, 4 damage straight to the face. We have the Frostbolt. He can even time rewind that Blast Mage if necessary.
Yeah.
Although, that would give Thijs the ability to play Molten Giant Shadow Flame. Right now. If Thijs wants to, he can definitely do that. And then Cipher relies on Fireball top decks.
Yeah, but I
Or
mean,
even Twilight
Ties.
Drake Shadow Flame next turn. If he
Yeah,
wants to.
but
But he has
Ties
to do it
doesn't
now.
want to do that. Like that's the thing. Because by doing this, by forcing a clear, Cipher buys some time so he can actually draw that fireball. So what Ties need here is to clear and to draw that heal bot as fast as possible, or to get to turn 9 with Draxus.
Yeah, Jiraxis is going to be a saving grace, I feel, at this moment. Like, he's realized that unless he finds some kind of Earthling Farseer anti-heal bot, and we've seen a lot of Earthling Farseers not getting completely phased out, but getting cut to one of sometimes in many handlock versions. So maybe he's only got, 2 heal bots and Jiraxis for healing purposes with Siphon
Yep.
Souls, but there's no target on the board. Wow, this must feel excruciating, but
Yeah,
you can't tap
Ties
here.
definitely feels bad here, but if he's being keeping track, he knows that Cipher only has a single card. That's
Yeah.
actually that's not a spare part. So that
It's fine though. He can
that draw.
Twilight Drake and Shadow Flame again. If Cipher plays the Blast Mage on this empty board, then he's playing into Siphon Soul, right?
Mhm.
He's playing into a lot of removal that the Warlock might have. And at the moment, Twilight Drake Shadow Flame, although it seems very weak, is probably going to be just enough to get Thijs the time that he needs to win.
Oh, what about
Oh
this Belcher
wow.
though?
It's the play. I think it might be the play. But I mean,
Yeah,
what
in
else are you
any
going to use Twilight
case,
Drake on, though? This is
yeah,
so terrible.
well, in any
Ouch.
case, you die to Fireball, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so I think this is better because then there's a slime to protect Jiraxis next turn, or to finish off
Oh,
the
wow.
last.
There's a slime to protect Jiraxis. I never thought I'd hear those words.
I mean, it's
So,
better than nothing.
yeah. So, is this a turn where you're happy to kill the Belcher, play the Shredder, and then return the Blast Mage to your hand?
Hmm. It it
'Cause
it seems good. It seems good, but if you lose your mech, then you
if you
basically
lose your mech, what does your opponent have, right? Because he had to Shadow Flame a Giant. Like, what do you think he might have here? He's played 2 Hellfires. What could he possibly have to kill your Shredder right now?
he could have drawn Dark Bomb. That's the one thing, but he'd have to have drawn it.
Oh no! You jinxed him. Wow. Okay, that Jiraxis is sadly no help right now because you want to play it, but look at the amount of damage you leave on the board if you do so. So does he
Yeah,
have to consider other options?
he can. Yeah,
Twilight
he
Drake,
has. Yeah, Drake
Shadow.
got hope for a crappy minion.
Yeah, hope for a Doomsayer even.
Yeah,
Oh, there's so many top decks in Cypher's deck. I mean, another Frostbolt, that would do the job. Another Fireball. I mean, one Fireball. He hasn't seen any. An Archmage Antonitis just to get the Fireball.
yeah. There are so many ways for Cipher to close the game off, but if he doesn't close it very soon, he might lose his edge here.
Oh goodness. I think
And
this is gonna be a Dark Bomb. It has to be on the Blast Mage though, isn't it? Yeah, it can't be on the Shredder because you're not really removing anything.
yeah, I agree. It would have killing the Shredder would have been gambling on the fact that your opponent gets a minion with less than two attack.
Yeah, which is really unreasonable. It's not a really good expectation. I think the average is about 2 attack. I mean, the best you could hope for, something like a Novice Engineer, Captain Sparrett, like, the very low end of trashy 2-drops, but there's very few of
Yeah,
those, so you really can't play around that.
but even
Alright,
then,
so...
we know that Cipher would have had lethal anyways.
Yeah. Actually, Cypher is really close to lethal regardless. Oh, he plays a Frostbolt on that Twilight Drake.
This is so
That's one
nice,
less
though.
out. This is... Do you Shadow Flame here? I feel like... Oh, Shadow Flame Loatheb prevents him from dropping any massive you know, spare part play if he's got anything relevant.
Yeah,
You
so
can't
there would
Jiraxis
only
because you
be.
die.
I
If you, yeah,
Yeah, I guess Loath Shadow Flames to play because the board is going to be worse for Cipher next turn for sure. So you'd rather Jiraxis next turn and trade Loatheb into minions
yeah,
right now. So and you hope that Cipher doesn't top that Fireball because that's the
yeah.
last turn where it's lethal.
Oh, Daryl Alfalfa, no help here for Cipher. It's an average minion and a
Oh!
fireball.
Wow!
Oh wow, and Lothar not gonna
Oh.
help here. 9 mana fireball says whatever, man. I got 10, and down goes the Warlock. So Thijs' Warlock, I mean, his plays were honestly, I think, very, very, very good because
Yeah.
regardless of what happened there with that specific play where he Shadow Flamed and Lotheb, if he'd played Jiraxis, he would have had to use it for removal, which meant he would have still died. I
Uh,
think it's I really like Paladin's spot right now
mhm.
in the metagame.
Yeah, and Tyze probably likes his hand right now. The
Yeah.
mini bot is so annoying to deal with.
It's all right. So I've been told by the admins right now that Cypher's friends list is currently bugged. If you haven't seen that recently, guys, I just want to let you know there is a bug on the on the Hearthstone spectator mode servers or whatever that just wrecks friends lists. So it's all
Yeah.
consolidated and it glitches so hard that you can't invite people to the game. So we're gonna have to make do without seeing Cypher's hand, which actually might be a bit interesting. Just having to
Yep.
try to guess how Thijs is gonna have to play around stuff.
And this Annoytron's very, very annoying. Does the
Annoying.
job for Tyze because
Yeah.
I mean Tyze could have traded with both minions, like killed one minion with his shield bot,
But he still gets a
his
really
mini
good turn
bot,
here,
and
though.
Clockmaster. It's still pretty good.
Yeah, because
It's not
he
the
gains
best,
back the
but
Divine Shield he lost, and then he gets the Cog Hammer, which is going to snowball advantage-wise, because
yeah,
the ability to attack 3 times with a 2/3, like, you would think that Stormforged Axe, I mean, Stormforged Axe is a good card, but I think the reason Cog Hammer is so strong is because it also protects one of your minions, so it's a combination, it's like 3 upsides in one. And with a
yeah,
combination of shielded mini-bot getting back his Divine Shield, it's like you're double dipping in the value of a shielded mini-bot.
yeah. That is totally unfair for your aggro opponent. And since I mean, also the thing is that the downside of the Stormforged Axe is the fact that Shaman doesn't have a lot of healing, so you don't
Mhm.
really want to attack 3 times into minions. But Paladin has so much healing that it can actually afford to take all that damage to the face early.
Yeah. So here we see the double knife juggler from Thijs, and if you know that your opponent is running Mech Mage, you can probably assume that those guys will get you the value you want. Especially with
Yeah,
in combination with, you know, the True Silver Champion or Sludge Belcher next turn, that could be incredibly strong.
yeah. Cipher, we don't know his hand, but is probably
He's
starting
not
to
feeling
think
too
about
good
the
about
deck
this.
he's gonna bring
Yeah.
next because first of all, being behind on the board as a mech mage player is already super bad. But when you have to use your frost bolts on minions, it's not even just about the card, but also about the mana that you have to spend that you're
Yeah.
not using on building a bigger board. And then
Yeah, you
afterwards,
should
you
be... You're right.
yeah. And then
So,
there's
knife juggler here, wow.
yeah. But I think Coghammer is the MVP. Without Coghammer, those knife jugglers could not have been that safe.
Yeah, definitely not, because it would have been easy to just not... Because the ability of the Cog Hammer is that against you know, control deck, it's not very effective. It's one of those cards that generally sits there pretty much dead, and it's also sometimes even a detriment because you don't want to be using, you know, you don't want to be giving taunt to things until you've seen a Black Knight. So a lot of the time against a control deck, that can be a bit problematic. But in situations like this, where we're looking at, you know, mid-range versus aggro, I feel like in this specific case, mid-range Paladin is doing a lot of work with that Cog
Yeah.
Hammer.
Tyz has been unlucky here with his knives though because he really wanted to kill the Drake.
Yeah, but he's not afraid of AoE, so I don't think he's really worried about losing this board advantage. It's one of the stickiest boards you can get at this point. Powder
Mhm.
Shredder with Sludge Belcher, both of which spawn things that the Knife Juggler will shoot knives with. So it's a combination of great and good at this point for Thijs.
Yeah, and usually mech mages don't run board clears anyways, but seeing this Drake Now I'm starting to think that maybe Cipher's deck is a little bit more late game than the all-in mech mages that we see on the ladder.
I've
So,
seen Drakes come up pretty frequently in tournaments in mech mage decks. A little less all-in, as you mentioned, than some of the other versions. But, I mean, I've seen some people run Mechanical Yetis on ladder to go all-in mech, and the spare parts for Archmage Antonidas, but a lot of tournament decks end up playing Azure Drakes for card draw, just to make sure that, you know, the big weakness of, well, there goes the Mechanical Yeti. The big weakness of aggro decks is once you lose the card draw, there's no way you're going to be able to keep pressure anymore.
yeah.
Oh!
That knife.
Every day I'm juggling. I don't exactly know how this is a recoverable situation for losing his Drake. Not the biggest blow, because that he would have still, you know, likely lost it to either of the other cards that Thijs could have played, even the Cog Hammer. But now the Quartermaster making this board just incredibly sticky. The 3/3s don't even die to Blast Mages anymore. Unless Flame Strike is a tech card that Cipher is somehow playing, I think this game is going to go to Thijs. He's way too high on health at the moment.
I feel like Thijs could have played around Flame Strike, though, because that's the only way he loses at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, but he's got the
maybe...
True Silver Champion in double attack, you know? And then he wins.
Yeah. Oh, and he has an owl in case of the second in Oichon, so you're totally right.
Hello! Yeah, this is not... He's gonna Blast Mage here and hope for the best, but, I mean, come on. Those 3/3s are now just unremovable. And he concedes. Well played, he says. I mean, it's pretty obvious at some point after the double juggler Cog Hammer opener. It's really, really tough for Cipher to come back in the game and keep applying pressure when you consider all the healing Paladin has. It's like a mix of... The defensive power of Cog Hammer is an RB Cowl, not an Undertaker, is out of the picture. Spellbreaker is making a resurgence in control decks because it is the, you know, bulkier silence, which makes a lot of sense because you've got time now. You don't have to rush to actually live.
Yeah.
Fiery War Axe is going to be a lot of help for that Knife Juggler. This hand from Cipher is actually very, very strong. He's curving out nearly perfectly. He can even deal with a Paladin Shredder very effectively.
Yeah. And since he expects to play the Acolyte, he chooses to play the War Axe this turn, which is a pretty good choice, I think.
Yeah, and
Because now...
Thijs, though, gonna have to be playing very slowly.
Yeah, Thijs' turn's very awkward. But he can still get a... if he can get a Quartermaster for turn 5, he might be in a good spot, though.
But if you look at the board right now, I mean, Knife Juggler is out of the question. Playing a 1/1 puts your opponent in a position where he might want to be using his Fiery War Axe, but he also telegraphed that he wants to play Acolyte of Pain turn 3. So do you really want to spawn a 1/1? So it's like a mix of 3 decisions that he has to make, none of which are particularly interesting. And if you put 1/1 now, sure, you can coin Paladin Shredder on the following turn, but it's not going to be enough to deal with that War Axe. So he opts not to give the card draw to Cipher.
I guess you hope...
Amazing case of mind games, because we saw that, you know, Cipher plays his War Axe, Thijs says, okay, that means he's got Acolyte of Pain, and then Thijs realizes, if I put a 1/1 down, I'm gonna get punished, because I really don't have a way to deal with that Acolyte. If I had True Silver Champion, I mean, I'd be happy to just coin it out and kill the Acolyte of Pain, but that wasn't the case.
This mini-bot would have been so great last turn.
Yeah, it would have been great on curve, but I mean, I feel like the Paladin Shredder is still doing an amazing job here. And I don't think Cipher can afford to Spellbreak this, knowing Tyrion might come out. I think you have to keep your Spellbreaker for Tyrion Fordring.
Yeah, but can you... Yeah. But at the same time, the Spellbreaker here is such a tempo play. Maybe...
Yeah, he's
because
got no really good answer to it.
Yeah, if you have the board as Warrior, you don't really mind about Tyrion, because you can kill it, and then if you have HP, you don't really mind Ashbringer.
You know what? I feel like attacking that Shredder, taking 4 damage, then armoring up and perhaps shield slamming, whatever comes out of it, might be viable. Because between your shield slam and the 1/3, you should be able to kill whatever comes out of this, unless it's like Millhouse Mana Storm. There you go. See, shield slam is a, you know, semi-viable option here. Yeah, I think this is definitely... It's not you know, a prime shield slam target, but the Fiery War Axe being able to take out the first half of the Shredder means that the efficiency of the Shredder was slightly mitigated, and there comes the True Silver Champion. That's exactly what Thijs wanted to see last turn, but he got it this turn perfectly fine. Gonna give only 1 card to Cipher, who's not gonna be able to capitalize on the projected card advantage.
Yeah, Despite though is really going to help on this, and the Belcher is pretty good against True Silver Champion because it doesn't die.
Yeah, I'm looking at Cypher's hand right now, and he's already gearing up for an amazing late game. Baron
Yeah.
Geddon and Dr. Boom offer, either he wants to be defensive with Geddon and reactive, or proactive with the Dr. Boom, which gives him a lot of really strong, lines of play. Very,
Yeah.
very few good lines of play here, like
Yeah,
this.
and turn 7 Boom into Baron Geddon is super strong because it actually kills the BGH. So
Yeah.
sure, you lose your Dr. Boom, but then you have Baron Geddon and you have Ragnaros, so you do want this big game to hit Dr. Boom because you keep the bombs anyways.
Yeah, Cipher now going to be a little worried about the potential of a Quartermaster on the following turn. Lucky for him,
Yeah.
there is none in Thijs' hand, and I think the Fiery War Axe, just taking out that Juggler is going to make him feel a little safer. Very, very interesting situation here for Cipher, who has to decide probably over, like, do you just play your Deathbite and set up
Yeah, he
an
could
AoE for the
Deathbite.
following turn?
That might be his best choice, because, yeah, actually, if he plays Deathbite right now, kills the Juggler, even if Thijs plays the Quartermaster, then he hits the face next turn and plays Baron Geddon and clears all the tokens.
Exactly, but apparently he's not too worried about that. He'll just remove most of the one-on-ones with the slime. I mean, one of the one-on-ones with the slime, which is going to let him on the following turn play Geddon and get a very similar result, ultimately. Alright, another Paladin Shredder here for Thijs, but it's feeling a little weaker, but you still have to play it. I feel like Shielded Minibot and Shredder... Oh, you can't play BGH. What is Thijs doing? Do not hover over that thing.
I have no idea what he's hovering over it.
Yeah, I think he's no.
No,
No.
you're against controller. There's no way.
There's no way he plays that.
Like
Okay.
I could see you playing the BGH on board against say Zoo when you don't expect late game, but against controller you have way too many targets.
Yeah, there's no way he plays that. All right.
If you could run 3 of the BGHs, you'd do it. So you definitely don't play one without Battlecry.
So my question is, do you play a 1-1 or Shielded Minibot? All right, he does play a 1-1. I think it protects him pretty well against both the Brawl and Baron Geddon in a way. And I like that he opted for that thing because one of the best ways to put Warrior on a really, really high pressure regimen is to just oh no. Oh no, the freeze. Oh, the
Check it.
freeze.
Oh,
So
knight.
he has to big game hunter this, doesn't he?
totally, for sure. Oh, the Quartermaster.
One turn too late. So a good thing Cipher got rid of those minions. But now Dr. Boom is going to be somewhat, uncontested at this point. The Consecration going to be helpful. Do you think Cipher develops the Fiery War Axe to trigger an AoE? Or does he just play Dr. Boom? I think there are
basically-
2 decent lines of play here.
Like if he plays the War Axe, he kills the freeze, which is extremely important. But he only gets sort of 3 damage. So how is that really lowering the pressure? Because if he does that, he still takes 6. If he...
Oh, goodness. He takes, yeah, there's a lot of damage, surprisingly, on Thijs' board. I mean, if you notice, Cipher hasn't armored up pretty much all game outside of that one turn, which is really unusual. And I guess that's what happens when you're facing mid-range Paladin with really nice Juggler, Shielded Minibot openers. You've gotta take that phase damage.
Yeah, so do you play Dr. Boom and hope for the best with the bombs? Do you play the War Axe and then execute the 4-2? Because
Do you play Dr.
don't
Boom
know-
and execute afterwards? What about that? How's that for play? There you go. He actually does exactly this. So this is going to contest the board. But if you look right now on Thijs' side, he's got 8 damage sitting right here.
Oh, and the
wow.
Aldor top deck.
Okay.
This looks
Wait,
so bad for
Aldor? Oh god, this is... I wouldn't like this if I were Cipher, but
Cipher. Definitely not.
it just takes like a Shield Maiden. 'Cause, I mean, if you Aldor Peacekeeper Dr. Boom and Quartermaster, it's going to give you a bit of damage output. You can't really afford... I mean, you could Tyrion. I guess it's one of the strongest tempo swings, but I mean, those boom bots are going to be really problematic, so you might have to go for a Consecration turn here. He could actually wipe this board, BGH and the 1-1 into Dr. Boom, then you Consecrate, low chances of your Shielded Minibot dying, and then you can resume the aggression.
But is Yeah, I agree that you either have to play Tyrion or clear, because if you play Quartermaster, Aldor, like you said, you play him to brawl, and that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel like Tyrion can be pretty good because even if your opponent kills that Tyrion by Black Knighting, um, you get a 15 damage weapon.
Yeah, and there he is. He's actually playing.
Yeah.
Oh wow, the perfect boombot, not touching a single minion here
Wow.
for Cipher. That's a really unfortunate boombot, and I mean Cipher's hand is not terrible, but that Tyrion is gonna put him in a world of hurt because all he wants to do at this point is deny the possibility of an Ashbringer, because that's 5 damage he can actually dish out right afterwards. And I can't actually think of a way for Cipher to get out of this. I mean, he has to spell break Tyrion, and then I think, is this it? How does he actually kill both the 4-2 and the 2-2 and Tyrion at the same time, and live through Ashbringer? I cannot think of a way.
Yeah, so you have to silence and then
Attack the BGH with your face, or attack the 2-2 with your face.
No. Oh, he's 1 minute off of actually equipping Deathbite and then equipping, the Fiery War Axe.
Yeah.
To clear the minions.
So no Ashbringer here, but he's gonna have to take another 4 damage to the face straight up. Loses Dr. Boom to his own AoE, and
the pain.
This is not good. Wait, he's 1 off lethal.
1 off.
Oh goodness.
Well, Lothab feels pretty good.
Yeah, I'd play Lothab here to avoid any AoE, but I feel like Cipher could still come back. He's really close to getting it done.
Yeah, what if he top decks Alex Straza? That would be...
Oh, that would be disgustingly strong.
Yeah.
But then there's an Aldor Peacekeeper, so she won't do as much work as he'd like. And it's surprising right now how much work Light's Justice has done. You think about those 1 damage pings here, just whittling down at the armor, whittling down here and there, some of the minion health, the slimes earlier. Really, really important Light's Justice value.
Yeah. I mean, getting 4 damage out of a 3-minute spell is already pretty decent, and you get the 1/1s that Warrior has a really, really hard time clearing.
Yep, and now he's gonna pray that Ragnaros does not go face.
Oh,
so
it's
this
50-50.
YOLO Rag, yeah. 50,
Does
50,
Cipher
so...
see another day? No, he does not.
Yeah, Cipher is probably going to concede. He was pretty quick on it last turn. Nope, he did not. Okay, I'm surprised. I thought he... And the BM here from Thijs. Why equip the weapon? Come on, Thijs.
Yeah. Well,
oh,
I guess this is not a lot of information given, because you totally expect double show silver out of any paladin. It's auto-include, so...
Yeah, but he could have attacked with Lothab and just ended the game. You know what it would... Like, this BM I will rate 1 out of 10, because he could have Aldor Peacekeeper'd his Lothab. Double Wild Growth.
Oh, wow. and he has a combo, so Wild Growth thing towards combo is pretty good. Oh, wow.
Are you kidding me? This is disgusting.
Job's done.
Oh, goodness. He's playing double combo.
Wow, okay,
Are you
so...
kidding?
Cypher's hand is either going to be disgustingly good or disgustingly bad.
Depending on the follow-ups, yeah.
Yeah. If he can have a follow-up for this Shade and actually get a Force of Nature, that would be insane.
Actually, he needs a swipe as soon as possible. He needs nothing but a swipe right now. I'm looking at this muster for battle, and I don't think this Shade will live on.
Do you play the Shade? I think it's 50-50, right?
You know, I feel really awkward about playing my Shade here. I almost want to Savage Roar that Juggler, but I can't do it.
Oh, wow. If you Savage Roar the Juggler, you basically show that you run double combo, because
you throw
if you run single combo, you don't. Oh, and the My Greetings. I think both players know that the game's going to be decided right here, right now.
Yeah. This is a really massive, like, turn for... And to the face.
It lives!
Alright, Cipher still has a chance. I was putting him out of this game, but this is suddenly turning around, and he gets a perfect curve with the Shredder play. This is insane. Wait, what?
Oh, draw 3 cards. Wait.
This is insane. The card draw advantage is going to be incredible.
I like this.
And Spectral Knight. And Druid of the
Wow.
Claw. Wow, his mid-range Druid deck is gonna spiral out of control very soon.
Well,
You just wait.
Cipher fished for turn 5 and he got 3. It's not too bad. Oh, this
Oh.
quartermaster.
So wait, you have to pick a play here, and I feel like the Shredder contests the board the best, because whatever taunt he plays in the mid range, like in the mid game, if he doesn't have swipe here, your Quartermaster is at least guaranteed to get you a value. Because if he plays a minion and he kills only a 1/1, you still get 2/3/3s, right? So it
Yeah,
doesn't matter what minion he plays here, you're still fine with this.
the
No swipe,
quartermaster
you win.
huge. There is.
Wow.
I think Cipher is going to be really, really far behind next turn because Quartermaster is going to be huge and Druid just doesn't have board clears.
He doesn't have any swipes right now. I think the play is Druid of the Claw into a 1/1 and the 5/4 into a 1/1, and then you leave it at that.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, even though the Quartermaster is going to get value, if you look at the current board state, I think Cypher's follow-ups are also going to be able to put a massive amount of pressure, and Thijs has to be worried about combo. He sees Spectral Knight. He knows that is a very, very, that is very indicative of at least one combo, possibly two. I don't remember seeing Spectral Knight in very many decks that didn't run combo. So Thijs is definitely going to put his opponent on that, and he's got a perfect clear now. Quartermaster, Shredder, plus a 3/3 into a Spectral Knight, 3/3 into Harrison Jones, then with a 2/5 and a minion from Shredder.
Or do you just simply Aldor one of these? Like, you Aldor the Spectral Knight, and
then
then you
trade?
leave. But,
You could
with-
juggle an Aldor.
yeah.
Let's see what he
Okay,
gets
so-
with the Shredder.
And
Not what he wanted. Uh-oh. Okay. Wow,
So
do you
for-
have to Quartermaster this?
Move quickly.
I mean, Quartermaster lets you trade, but it's so... You haven't seen Swipe, though, you know? So you do feel somewhat okay. You can't... Can you trade? You have to trade, but you can't trade, because if you do, then you're giving him time to replenish his board and then go for combo wins. Right now, he's on the defensive.
Yeah, I like putting pressure here from Thijs because Druid is going to have a hard time clearing this anyways, so you don't want to give the Spectral Knight Wind Fury by sending both of your minions into it.
Yeah. I like the comparison with Wind Fury here, because if you trade two guys into it, then you're essentially giving him two pieces of removal for one card.
Exactly. And with Cypher's HP at 15, he's going to have to use his minions for clearing. He's not even close to having lethal, so
Yeah.
he's going to be forced to remove with the Spectral Knight, so might as well not do it for him.
I never thought I'd see the day where Paladin would be able to outpressure a mid-range Druid, but I mean, it's happening. Those shielded mini-bots, those knife jugglers that muster for battle with Quartermaster, really shaping the game right now.
Yeah. Oh, wow, and this owl. I guess you just silence the Shredder because you don't expect
You
you
juggle.
don't expect Ancient of Wars anyways out of this deck, so you're not really gonna have a better target than this.
My question is, do you even trade, or you just keep going face for 5 damage? Because you could... Oh, wow, the hit actually enables the Quartermaster to trade, which is
Yeah.
probably the perfect hit for the juggler here. And not even... I mean, he hasn't seen Swipe, so is he still worried about it? Yeah, an actual mistake?
I don't know, because at this point, getting your 3/3 for that 4/3 is really good value. And you have Boom in hand, so are you really that eager
Yeah.
to finish the game?
I
do you
think
just
Boom
like
is the
value?
determining factor. Boom is exactly what makes Thijs want to do what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Oh, developing a taunt here. Actually, the swipe for Dr. Boom is going to give him a little bit more of an easier time to deal with the Boom bots. Not an amazing one, but an easier... Uh-oh.
Oh.
So this is the end.
Yeah, Boom's gonna seal the deal here.
Yeah, I don't know how Cipher is supposed to... Well, I mean,
Oh.
come on now, this is insane. It's not going
Well,
to save him, but actually, no, he's dead if he does that.
No, yeah, if he swipes, even if he hero powers the Boombots
He's
and
dead.
Consecrate, are most likely lethal.
Does he have to heal with Ancient of Lore? 7?
He does if he dies, right?
No, he
No,
lives,
no,
but
He
lives
lives, but
long
he dies
enough
in
to...
Boombots.
Yeah.
So
He, I thought Cipher had a really good start, but that juggler muster for battle opener,
Yeah.
no
Like,
swipe.
either
If Cipher had found a swipe earlier, that would have been an entirely different outcome.
either way, Cipher has to gamble on bombs ING here,
Yeah.
whether he hits his face or he goes for swipe or taunt.
I'm actually a little. Oh, ouch, ouch, ouch.
Well, that's game.
Yeah, that is game over here for Cipher, who's going to lose 3 games to a Paladin deck.
Yeah. Paladin pretty
Wow.
strong.
Thijs' mid-range Paladin just taking the games off of Cipher, killing the Mech Mage, the Control Warrior, as should be expected in many ways. And then the mid-range Druid just not able to pack enough aggression early on, or early enough, to actually contest the Knife Juggler plays from Thijs.